Lerner here. Jeff here too. Here on Insta, here on YouTube, here on Facebook page, here on my Facebook group. I'm here, there, and everywhere. Excited to be with you. As always, today I'm gonna do a quick live here. Just clock in maybe solid 15 minutes. I just want to say something really important, and that is you likely do not have all the capabilities native to your character, native to your personality to be wildly successful, to accomplish everything you want in this world. What? What did he just say? Did he just say that I don't have everything I need inherently in my personality to achieve everything that I want in this world? He did. But it doesn't mean you can't. It just means you have to recognize your own personal limitations. And to the extent that those limitations are keeping you from being able to achieve everything that you want, what do? You create, and by the way, there's a setup because tomorrow's Halloween. And tomorrow we're all going to be doing this. You create a character. You create a character. Surely you guys know me well enough to know that I would not come out and say and spout limiting beliefs. I'm spouting practical advice. I'm spouting hard-fought wisdom from the trenches of, frankly, way out achieving and way outperforming my natural set of limitations. I'm an introvert. What's up, Yesh? I'm an introvert. I'm a shy person. I'm a scared person. I'm a bullied person. I'm an intimidated person. I'm a person who wants to shrink by nature. In fact, most of us are. Very few of us do not, or very few of us, I would say, naturally have the confidence, have the enthusiasm, have the optimism to just go out there and slay it in this world. Virtually none of us naturally have that. I came on Instagram. One of the very first guys popped on. He left me a comment. He said, "You're gay AF. You're gay AF." First of all, I think he thinks that that's an insult. I don't agree. Let me use anything wrong with homosexuals. I'm willing to draw that line in the sand because there's nothing wrong. I don't know. Who the hell am I to know what's right or wrong for anybody? Like, that's just presumptuous. That's just arrogance for me to say, that's right. Look, you're not hurting me. I'm not judging you. But I think he thought he was being mean. And the simple fact that some knucklehead on Instagram wanted to attack me, wanted to hurt me for most of my life would have crippled me, would have paralyzed me to where because I am a normal human being, frail, fragile, insecure, and all, just like all of us, I would have gotten stuck and I wouldn't be able to move forward. And to the extent that this is an important part of my business, this conversation, this thing of going live and creating content, this is an important part of my business. I'm a content creator. I'm a personality in the marketplace. I would let this one unhappy person cripple me, paralyze me, potentially even derail me from all of my dreams. Why? Because I would have been being myself. That's when people say, be yourself. Don't be yourself. You're scared. You're intimidated. You're fear-based. You're emotional. You're irrational. You're human. We love you in all your imperfections, but let's not pretend that you, human being that you are, waking up in the morning, tired as you are, bleary-eyed as you are, with all the excuses going through your mind as they do, natural, left to your own animal devices and origins, that you have what it takes. You don't. I don't. None of us do. But we do have the ability to overcome all of those limitations with one simple hack that changed my life. And it's a great thing to talk about the day before Halloween, because tomorrow, most of us, many of us, will be stepping into character. We will be putting on an outfit and we will be going out. And on the basis of that outfit, I want you to observe what happens on Halloween if you're a person that dresses up. And I'm not like a huge Halloween guy, but it's fun with my kids. I have little kids. They have a ton of fun. I love going out, wearing costumes. It's kind of a family thing. We all have a theme. And what you'll find is that when you're dressed up as someone or something else, hold on, I was doing a workout and I forgot to stop my watch. Let me stop it real quick. When you're dressed up as someone or something else, you will naturally start to act different. Try putting on a fake mustache. Try putting on glasses. Try putting on a suit. Look at how you feel when you say, I'm going to go for a run, and you just lace up your athletic shoes and just putting on those shoes. You feel a little bit more like going for that run. Thanks, Jeff. Brian, you're going to be Captain Jack Sparrow. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. By the way, great. You ever seen Johnny Depp talk about the experience of creating Captain Jack Sparrow? So much of it originates from the costume, from the character. You look at Johnny Depp, you listen to him switch into Captain Jack Sparrow. Two completely different people. Does Johnny Depp have the ability to do all the things that Captain Jack Sparrow can do? No, but he doesn't need to, because Captain Jack Sparrow can do it, right? Beyonce's kind of a timid, shy person, but it doesn't matter because she doesn't have to take the stage to play halftime at the Super Bowl. She doesn't have to take the stage in front of thousands or tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of people, because she steps into character named Sasha Fierce. And Sasha Fierce takes the stage. Every time you go see Beyonce, you're actually watching Sasha Fierce. That's right, Jeff. You got to create a character that's better than you, that's the full embodiment of your potential with none of the restrictions of your fears, uncertainties, and doubts. And you can do that. I'm telling you, it is my secret weapon in this world. It's how I do this every single day. I was in a studio for 6 hours earlier today. I shot 4 more YouTube videos. I shot an intro for a podcast. I shot a goofy GIF image of me going so that they can put it on the swipe ups I can actually have a little goofy image of me going like that on my swipe ups Instagram stories. All this stuff that I do now, and it's not just the content I create. You guys see the content I create. You don't see me lead the meetings. I get on sales meetings now, and I'm the visionary leader of a sales team of 25 people, 25 highly successful career sales professionals who have chosen to align themselves with my organization to help us put our movement out to the world. It's our advisor and specialist team. These are world-class professionals in their career of, sales and business consulting. They get on a meeting once a week, and I am the visionary leader who leads that meeting, who sets the tone, who sets the vision, who sets the path. And then now I have a team of people that help with the mechanics and the managerial leadership. Same thing with the marketing team. I have to cast a vision. I have to create a mission. I have to create alignment that everybody can buy into. We have 81 people. I looked at the general thread in my Slack channel this morning. There's 81 people in my organization that all have to be in lockstep with the mission, vision, and values of an organization that literally, most of which was created out of my brain and was inspired into them based on my breath, my words, my voice, my ideas, my beliefs. I am not the guy that should be responsible for any of that. In fact, I am not the guy that is responsible for any of that. So how did I pull it off? Because I had a belief in a vision for the world and the impact that I wanted to create. Even introverts, even shy people, even fearful people still have passionate beliefs and want to make a difference in this world. So I'm here to tell you, the shy, the fearful, the insecure, that do have strong beliefs and do want to do great things in this world, I'm here to tell you how to do it. You decide. Yes, Jeff, that's the word. You decide who you need to be in order to pull that off, and you cultivate that character. Do whatever you have to do. Go watch videos on method acting. Go read the Stanislavski method. Go watch Inside the Actors Studio. Do whatever you have to do. Build the backstory. Listen to how Jim Carrey creates his totally wild and crazy characters. The Mask, Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber. Do whatever you have to do to figure out who that character is, how they need to show up, what they need to believe, what they need to have experienced, and you step into that every day. And here's how I came to terms. I came to a place of peace with this character. Tana Hope, you're saying, who is that other guy? I'm not actually sure what you're asking. Can you tell me a little more? And by the way, I appreciate everyone who's here. We got Brian, we got Jeff, we got a different Brian, we got Larry, we got Tana Hope. I got so many people on Instagram, I can't even keep up. But I appreciate everyone being here. Sexy fit chick. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. So anyway, here's how I reconcile the fact that I can't do what I want to do. What's up, Chadrick? Appreciate you being here. I can't do what I want to do, but I deeply want to do it. Well, what am I supposed to do when I deeply want to do a thing that I don't feel like I can do? Because I'm human and I'm scared and I'm mortal. I'm not bulletproof. I want to be, but I'm not. How can I do it? Well, I got to create this character, but isn't that fake? What about all the people that say to be authentic? People say that you gotta be true to yourself. You gotta be the same person all the time in all situations. Somebody mentioned, Brian Priest mentioned my podcast episode with Todd Herman. Go watch that on YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in Jeff Lerner or Jeff Lerner Official. Go to my channel. Watch the interview with Todd Herman where we talk about the same concept, creating your success character. You've got to create a character that's better than you. And the other thing you have to do is you have to build a team of people as you grow that's better than you. And as you create, and the way you do it, and here's how I was able to, again, come to terms that like, this isn't fake. I'm not faking it. It's my super ego. So if you understand Freudian psychology, there's actually 3 parts to our identity construct in our mind at a conscious and subconscious level. We have our id, which is like our basic, almost like animal instincts. This is for sex and food and conquest and money and security, like the deep base level cravings that we have as human beings. And then on the other side, thanks, Jason, I appreciate that. On the other side, you have your super ego, which is your sublime self. It's the version of you that is the most articulate and elegant and cognitively developed and refined and diplomatic and skilled and munificent and wondrous and this like superhero version of yourself that can virtually do no wrong. It's our idealized self. So we have our id, which is like our base animal self. We have our super ego, which is our idealized self. And all the places in between, which is where we live, that's our ego. And our ego is basically a mediator that is trying to reconcile our base animal desires with our sublime nature or our sublime, abilities or self or whatever you want to call it, right? And the ego is in the middle going, well, you can't eat everything you want to eat. You can't have sex with every creature you want to have sex with. You can't fight someone every time you're angry. You can't kill people just because you don't like them. You can't just be like a wild, unleashed animal all the time. But at the same time, you have this idea of yourself that you keep falling short of. And so we have to intellectually reconcile this and juggle the impulses between the two, right? That's the ego. And so what I realize is I'm not creating a fake and phony character. I'm simply giving my super ego, my idealized self, an actual few minutes or hours a week to shine and to express in this world. Because if I want to do something, if I have a strong belief and I have a desire to impact the world by manifesting that belief, what I'm basically saying, where does that belief come from? If that belief is about, essentially, is it a sublime belief? Is it a, I believe the world could be? Is it a, I want to be the change I want to see in the world kind of belief? Is it an I have a dream kind of belief? If it is, it's a sublime belief. It's reasonable to ascribe that belief to the sublime self, which is the superego. So it's reasonable to say, I'm going to create a character that allows my superego to step into the moment and run the show, because actually this is my superego's belief anyways. My goals, my personal small human goals, are survival. They're actually more like id-like goals, the things that I want as my broken, fragile human state. But my superego, my sublime self, has some big goals, has some big beliefs, has some big ideas about what's possible in the world. And so if I'm passionate about those ideas, shouldn't I let him be the one to step in and drive in pursuit of those ideas? So that's what I do. I've basically worked really, really hard to figure out what my superego looks like and to try to let him step in and run the show sometimes. And here's the thing. It's an ideal. The superego is an idealized self. Ideals are exactly that. They're ideals. They're ideal. They would be ideal. They never actually exist fully in practice. That's why they're called ideals. So my idealized self that's pursuing these idealized beliefs is still allowed to be imperfect, but he's still going to be a hell of a lot better than me, right? By the way, this is my superego. My superego does these lives because my ego is terrified. My ego would have turned off the video as soon as that one guy said, you're gay AF. I would have been like, oh, they don't like me. Disconnect, right? I can't let my ego, or my ego or my id steer. You let your id steer, and it's a total train wreck. Let's see. Somebody asked, Wanda said, what, in your opinion, are your biggest natural strengths that you don't need to create the superego character for? That's a great question. Jason says, my superego name is NMX, engage, emerge, expand. That's so sick, man. I love that. Wanda, I'm going to answer. I'm going to think for myself. What is it that I think I already have in my true nature that I don't have to sublimate into like a higher nature through the creation of this character? I would say that I've always been even my smaller self is still a really big thinker. I believe I've always had a really big belief in like just it's more like an optimism. Like even though I'm introverted and I'm shy and I don't like the energy that I get from other people sometimes, because sometimes it's mean and sometimes it's just overwhelming because introverts get overwhelmed easily. I still have a big belief. Even my smallest self, I think, has a big positive belief in the fundamental good nature of human beings. And I believe in a world that's generally populated by good people who maybe it's just because I acknowledge that everyone has a superego, and that is how it's the outlet for our best selves, and that because we all have it, therefore it's part of all of us. And I think that 7.8 billion people with good decency can do incredible things in this world, and thus the world should be amazing. That's probably it. I've always believed the world should be better than it is. Even when I was a kid, even when I had no paradigm for the superego versus the ego, I believed the world could be better than it was. And frankly, it probably came from getting bullied so bad. I remember getting bullied, and I remember looking around and being like, this just doesn't seem right. It hurts. It makes me want to shrink and play small, but it also seems fundamentally incorrect. Like we as a species are getting the question wrong. Like we're taking a test and we're getting the question wrong. In other words, we're outside of our own truth. It was like we as a group took this test to say, should you be mean to, less advantaged people? And we said, yes, you should, when in fact the answer was no, you shouldn't. And we just got it wrong. That doesn't mean that it was right to get it wrong. It means we were wrong to get it wrong, right? And it's like, it should actually be better than this. And so I've always kind of had this belief. And so it's probably no wonder that once I finally got to the place in my life where I had mostly the perspective. Some people would say, oh, you had the resources. No, I just had the perspective to say, hey, wait, I think there's a path to actually help more people get it more right. Jeff, man, you just nailed it. Jeff said, that's probably the only reason I'm here. From an early age, I realized it wasn't their fault. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't their fault. They were backsliding into their ego too. It was, or their id too, I should say. Like, we don't, we don't know what we don't know. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. That's from the Bible, right? Like, that is how I felt. That's probably the single strength I had in my fundamental nature that didn't require the creation of my superego or my success character, is simply a recognition that we deserve some level of forgiveness because we really don't know what we're doing. And we could be better and we should be better. And there's a way for it to get better. And now, thankfully, I'm at a place where I actually think perhaps I'm a force for some of that change. But the thing is, you can be too. We all can be. What it requires is the creation, for most of us, the creation of a character that is more empowered than ourselves. And you don't have to worry about your own shortcomings. We're always beating ourselves up all the time about, I can't do this. I'm short. We're mad at ourselves because we slipped up. We ate the food that we didn't want to eat. We skipped the workout that we didn't want to skip. We snapped at our spouse we didn't mean to snap at. Like, we're always beating ourselves up. And the realize is, we never had the ability in the first place to be perfect or even to be excellent. And so we must call and conjure out our super ego and say, please bail me out of my own existence because you are better and I want you to drive, but also I can take heart because you are still me. That's what I think. Anyway, like I said, today's going to be a short one. I got another thing I got to do here at the top of the hour. I appreciate all of you. It's Friday. Everyone have a great weekend. If you do Halloween, hope you have a great Halloween weekend. Practice stepping into character. Try your costume on and notice how it changes the way you feel. And realize it doesn't have to be Halloween for that to happen. And that you don't have to buy a costume on Amazon for that to happen. You can create your own costume, your own character, and step into it anytime you want. I do it every single day before I go live. Take my word for it. All right. Take care.